A couple of videos ago, I did dabble with a weapon class that is completely overshadowed by other weapon classes in a lot of people's opinion, and you know, the opinion is valid because the range on hammers is very laughable if you think about it. But I found a weapon that is something I always kind of liked since Dark Souls 1. This is one of the weapons I loved in Dark Souls 1 even. But I brought it a revisit because for what I can remember, you can correct me if I'm wrong with this, the Warpick a couple of years ago, it didn't do pierce damage in Elden Ring. I'm not sure if this is the case in Dark Souls 1, but in Elden Ring, it never did pierce damage, and they did change this in some update, God knows which update. And the DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree, did release a couple of things to amplify two-handed movesets by a lot. So, what did I try here with the Warpick? So, first of all, again, it is a hammer. It does pierce damage. This already is good for the pierce talisman. And also with the two-handed sword talisman, it buffs your two-handed attacks a bit more. The reason why I really like hammers, or the hammer weapon class, is, yeah, sure, the range is not good, but it has hyper armor, and we know hyper armor is extremely potent in this meta. I think if you don't know, well, now you know. Hyper armor is very important, but if you compare this to other weapons with hyper armor, so this is not, you know, saying that this is better than the greatsword, because it really isn't. Greatsword is still much better, but that doesn't mean that the properties on this weapon is bad. The first attack of an R1 on the Warpick does 287 damage, and it's 16 frames fast. Yes, it's not the fastest, because for what I know, greatswords are also 16 frame, but it don't do pierce damage. The hyper armor activation on this weapon is on the 10th frame, and for what I know, greatswords are like on the 9th frame, or a bit earlier, like with 1 frame difference. But the second attack on this R1 chain is not low. It is not 100 minus. It's actually 100 plus. I think it's around 108 to 107, and if you compare it to a greatsword double R1 attack, or the second hit of the R1 chain, they do like 130 to 140, I think. This is all just me remembering a couple of weeks ago, but that's also the main reason why I actually like this a lot, is because it does pierce damage. Greatswords don't do pierce damage, and pierce damage is quite arguably the best kind of damage you can have in PvP. But to make it even more goofy or a bit more fun, I slapped on the Braggart's Roar. For its buffs, first of all, stamina is really good. Like, the stamina regen is good. More defense is good, because hyper armor also gives you damage reduction. But this R2 is so goofy. It is funny that a lot of people see this little Warpick, and they try to be aggressive when I whiff an attack, or if I just, you know, walk around, run around. They try to start their aggression, and they dash in, get hit by this. They see their HP bar deplete almost like 50% in one hit, and they start running away. And then they realize, oh shit, this little hammer actually does quite some damage. The moveset, by the way, itself, two-handed, is not bad. The swings are kind of wide horizontal swings. The crouch attack is pretty fast. The running attack is not bad. I actually like the back hop attack a lot on this, and the running R2. Yes, it's not the fastest, but everything here has hyper armor, also combined with pierce damage. I think this is a very little fun weapon to mess around with. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.